You are definitely in for an interesting episode. Lazarus episode 11. We start this episode off with having a flashback at everything that happened near the ending. Finally, we resume back where Axel is driving the vehicle. This is where we notice as he's talking to Hirsch that above, someone drops down, the same man from the street. We've technically already seen this last episode, but they continue to show that Elena and Doug are heading to Pakistan. Immediately after this, we go back to Axel being stuck in traffic. That's when the opening plays. We finally get to see that Doug and Elena have landed in Pakistan and they take the car that was actually with them. Of course, we get this car POV of Elena and Doug, and we notice that Elena keeps getting notifications while they are looking for Popcorn Wizard. Back at home at Lazarus HQ, Dr. Hirsch is actually talking to both Chris and Leyland about what's going on in Pakistan. She gives Leyland a task of giving this envelope to someone that comes there, and she's like, hey, I gotta go to this meeting. Finally, we get to come back to Axel. So the man that is coming towards him has clearly caused the traffic problem, and he starts talking in Korean. At least I believe it's Korean, I'm not 100% sure, I apologize. This guy ends up jumping on Axel's car and starts shooting. And of course, our favorite Axel trope, they run around the city while this man, his number one weapon, apparently is grenades. However, with this guy, he's able to catch up with Axel, showing that he's on some type of skill level as him. Finally, going back to Leyland, he gives the envelope to Abel, and Chris finds out that he is the founder of Lazarus, so a mini canon event here. Immediately after, they go back into the whole Axel fight, which is really just a bunch of grenades being thrown while he runs away. So Hirsch ends up having this big meetup with someone named Schneider. She's wanting him to call up his men that are actually in Pakistan. However, in the end, she does end up getting detained by him. Abel's received this envelope, he starts reading it and is just going over everything that Hirsch is doing currently, which is a part of her also getting took in as a detainee. Midway through that, though, Abel ends up getting called by one of his employees that there's a bunch of explosions in the city, and they take a closer look and they clearly see that it's Axel. Doug and Elena are just still driving, and they're having a nice little talk about what they're going to do after they catch Dr. Skinner. But while they're talking, someone ends up tailing them, so Doug sends Elena off to go on her own to go track Popcorn Wizard, which Elena is pretty excited for, as we get to see. We go back to Abel, and he begins talking about this phantom assassin, which is the ghost we've been hearing about the whole time. So Chris is given permission to get a gun and go and help Axel. Leyland is tasked to stay back. He's just getting little broed left and right here. With that out of the way, going back to Doug, he ends up stopping on the side of the road and surrendering, and that's where we get to see Elena has went far ahead. He buys her time, shoots these guys' tires out because they immediately try to go for Elena. Axel is continuously getting chased, and Chris is coming inbound on a bike with their gun. Okay, Elena has rode her scooter, which I don't know where she got that from the car, all the way to this alleyway, and she's getting closer to Popcorn Wizard. She's so excited. She sees the van, she's running and running, and the van stops. Face to face, Popcorn Wizard and her both meet eyes, and she passes out midway. During the Axel chase, he ends up doing that thing where he falls, he fell into water, and he washes ashore up to the ship. And we get to see that the assassin was already waiting inside the ship. He opens up this door and they have like this face off. Both of them start fighting hand to hand. As Axel is giving him like this big beatdown, he sees this necklace and starts panicking out, having flashbacks. Something like, why do you have a Hong Dong ring? Whatever that is. And these flashbacks are like some sort of PTSD through everything he's been through. We do get to see that Chris gets off her bike with the gun. So during this part of the Axel fight, the assassin throws a spear at him and it hits Axel right in the stomach area, and Axel throws a knife at him, hitting his like leg. Clearly Axel was injured more. The assassin just ends up taking the knife out of his foot, throws it, and comes towards Axel, but out of nowhere Chris starts shooting and he jumps into the water and runs away. And if my math is correct, it is 5 days left. We have one episode left to go. This series is definitely nothing genre defying. I do want to say the strong thing is the animation and the music. The characters are very weak in my book. They try to do this whole trope, which I don't know why, but I hate it so much. I don't know what it's called, but it's where they keep going through a bunch of people to try and keep action going. That way, it's like a unity type of thing where everything is going on at once, everyone's trying to complete a task. It's as if the whole entire team is one character. That way, we don't look at a single character and we're like, hey, this character kind of sucks. And the rest of them, yeah, you kind of suck as well. As far as like my favorite character overall, I feel like Leyland. He feels like a main character. I don't know what it is. Maybe it could be the comedic, but he's able to be like a center of attention, and I like that. They wanted Axel so much to be the center. He just doesn't do it for me. And from the ending of this, I'm just like, where are they going with this? We're gonna have like some Chris falling in love type stuff. That's not even really a spoiler. They show that. I'm just like, what? Where did they ever really fall in love? There was no way they could. Makes no sense. But I'm gonna quit yapping. One more episode and move at the final rating. This one I'll say it's a 8.2. Tell me what your guys' thoughts are on episode 11. I hope you stay safe, and until next time, guys, peace out.